Hey, what's up everybody? Bringing you another video. This time is of the Mythic Legion's Gorgo Atherblade with his Atherblade. First and foremost, shout out to Dan Briggs over in the Cabal for helping me find Gorgo, who had a seller on Instagram. So shout out to the seller. I don't have his name, but I'm going to put you in the caption because I couldn't remember it at this time. But I want to say thank you for allowing me to get this because man, oh man, I've been looking for this guy for a while. And also special shout out to Walter Hagen for finding me the Atherblade. Again, you guys have done me a solid and I do appreciate you guys. So thank you so very much. Now, let's get into this review. Gonna also say, I am been adoring Mythic Legions. It's just fun. Again, now that we're all kind of stuck home, for the most part, it's been more D&D for me. So that means more Mythic Legions for me. And I've been having a blast. This guy is really fun. He was originally released with the original Kickstarter for what's going on here with... was it the original or was it the second wave? But I remember Gorgo was released twice now, and he has been a lot of fun to play with because his color scheme is just really awesome. Also, he's one of the main technical bad guys in this faction, so it's been a really great time of hunting it down and now finally getting a chance to play with it. So, he is the homie trying to basically revive Aether, this evil god who is a total butthole and wants to destroy everything and take over in the land of Mythos. So Gorgo Atherblade looks really cool. No one knows what he looks like under the helmet, but what's really cool, and I can talk about this real fast, is that one thing I've noticed is that his neck is that of a, as I try to take this off, he has a skeletal neck. So that's one of the cool things that I've been noticing. So maybe they're hinting at maybe he's a dead guy too, but we don't know. I mean, we won't find out until much later. So as I pop this back on with the cool antlers that we have here, let's talk about the figure and its articulation. So our head can look up. He has a lot of range looking up. Looking down, obviously you don't get too much of that. You still can tilt side to side and turn to the side. So that way you can get very expressive with him, which is pretty cool. The antlers are removable, as you saw previously, but I like to keep them on because it's definitely a definitive look for him. And the only other people I remember having this is going to be like the the Silver Cord Sentry and Snag. Maybe, yeah, I think that's it. So yeah, it's not too many characters you'll find with this. Oh, and sorry, the Barbarian Builder. He has a different color version of this. So this color, it's kind of rare. Our arm articulation can go up, and it's going to be limited to the fact that the armor kind of holds it in place to the side. We have our standard forearm swivel at the gauntlet, and then we have the arm that rotates here, and it's all single jointed. But with Legions, it's kind of more of the aesthetic than the look, but they still actually move pretty well with the combined look of everything, right? Then we have our torso articulation, which kind of has this, what I call belly articulation now, which means below the belly is where it moves and you can rotate side to side as well as tuck in for a little bit of ab crunch. Our legs can go all the way out, so you can plie, ballet, and rider kick away. You have a thigh swivel, which is fantastic. You have a single joint, which allows it to move forward. And you have a generous Marvel Legend like ankle pivot, which allows you to move around. So if you want Gorgo to look really cool, posed up, and looking cool in a battle stance, you actually really can do that pretty well. Just gets really a lot of emotion evoked out of it. We have our battle armor skirt here that protects it and the sides as well. This soft plastic. Now Gorgo doesn't come with a lot because he's one of the earlier figures, but he just has a look of pizzazz about him that I have very much loved, and I'm glad I got it. Now we get our two pauldrons, and I left those off for a reason, because I want to talk about the fact that he comes with a cape. So back they had these standard capes. It was just cool. It flows in the wind, looks really well, and you would basically tuck it in to the point where it ties into the pauldrons. I'm just going to show you one side. It ties in, and then if you want, you would plug it into the back, and obviously your cape would flow. Now, since then, because I've been getting custom capes made, I don't use this cape. I actually use the custom one, so you'll be seeing a lot of that. So I'm not going to show that one off. So I am going to pop on these pauldrons, though. So with the pauldrons, you actually get a much better armored look for Gorgo that I have very much come to love. And they look really good. Fantastic, even. Now, as far as accessories go, you will get one longsword. Well, broadsword, I should say. You're going to get an axe. And his side is actually, his axe is actually one-sided. You don't get the double-sided, but you can still remove it. And if you have an extra piece, you can totally just plug that in to have a double-sided axe. Then you'll get a shield, which has the Aether symbol, which means you know who he's rolling with. He's repping his gang, and it's not a problem about it. You get the old school pagan, so that means it connects here instead of being held in the hand, which means he can hold weapons still in his peg. And actually, because these are actually pretty gentle, so I would say be very careful. So what I do is I actually place it in on the gauntlet first, and I'm doing it wrong like a crazy man. So I place it in, then I rotate over. Makes it a little easier for me. And then I plug it in. And the reason why I do it that way is that way I don't break anything on the way up or the way down. So with this shield, it actually looks really good. So as a crazy knight, I'm actually really feeling this look at all. Like, I'm really feeling this look. I've never put the shield on till now on him, but I've done it on my knights. But it actually looks really good on Gorgo. So let's remove this very quickly. Let's rotate this up and over, get that off. Now, one thing I do want to talk about is the fact that I got the Atherblade. This was an add-on piece, so I'm going to actually put it in the review. Gorgo with Atherblade review. The Atherblade came in a weapons pack, and it was paired with the Heavens brand. I got the Heavens brand through a trade when I got Sir Gideon previously, which is years back now. So to get the Atherblade, it took a lot. Now, the Atherblade compared to a broadsword, they actually look about the same length, but something about this just looks and feels a lot cooler. So I am really, really digging this. I'm gonna assume Gorgo is right-handed, but as a swordsman, you probably gotta, learn to use both hands. But Gorgo looks really dope with the Atherblade. I'm so glad I got it. I plan on doing some really cool photos with this. So again, thank you to Walter and Dan Briggs for helping me get this guy. Super excited. This looks utterly fantastic. And I have my custom capes, and you'll see those in photos. I actually combined the red and the black cape to match his color scheme. Now, real quick, I'm going to stand Gorgo up. And what we're going to do some size comparisons to see how Gorgo kind of stacks up with other stuff and how you want to do it with your Mythic Legions. Now, I'm going to compare Gorgo with some other Legions so you can see how he looks with other Legions. And then I'm going to compare it to other lines. So, since Gorgo is the leader of a multi-faction army, I'm going to compare the stuff that's kind of in his army to make him look cool. So we have Cavern Dwarves, who are smaller, and we have Orcs and stuff like that, but I'm not going to do the Orcs, not yet. I want you guys to see those in the photos. Here he is with Juno the Crusher, who's actually sided with the bad guys. She went from good to bad, so it's pretty cool. Then we have a Goblin, Snag, that's who I chose for this one. So these are kind of the smaller and female characters, because we already know what the 1.0 bodies are like. They're all very similar in terms of build. But just in case you haven't seen any, here he is with Lord Veritas. I chose a different head sculpt this time. So as you can see here, similar sculpts, right? Then we have Ogres. Now, the Ogres are bigger. And that's why I wanted to save this, because he actually leads this faction too. And as you can see, even with the horns, he still doesn't stack up to that of an Ogre, which is pretty dope. So let's take these guys away. Now we're going to compare it to other lines and other things that can work with it. One of those things being the Neca Evil Dead Demon Spawn, which I've very much enjoyed. And I think they fit really well in the Mythos stuff. Got to get a couple more of these guys. They look pretty good. Then in case you want to do some crossover stuff, which I've always enjoyed, here he is with a Neca Predator. In case you want to get crazy, right? Next up, we have stuff like the Neca Alien, which is gigantic. But again, if you want to do that nice crossover stuff, this is definitely for you. Then we have stuff like SH Figuarts. So here's Kamen Rider Vulcan, who's definitely going to look tiny next to him. You have a Lightning Collection Lost Galaxy Red Ranger, which I've actually crossed over in my the Blue Ranger for Beast Morphers. And I used some orcs for that, and that was actually pretty fun. Here is a 1000 toy synthetic human, which I don't think these guys will work well with that, but still, you never know. People can use their different army builders and make it work. Here he is with a Marvel Legends Captain America, who happens to be a bit bigger, so he actually scales pretty well with these guys. And since Captain America has fought just about everyone and everything, I definitely see him somehow fighting in Mythos. I don't see that not happening. Here's a different type of Marvel Legends who's a little smaller, which is Cyclops. Then we have stuff like Articulated Icons Ninjas and Mezco's Gomez. Right? Last but not least, one more thing I want to talk about is Garo, because I think Garo fits in well with Mythic Legions, being a little bit smaller, but still along the lines of being awesome, because he kind of has that golden armor look. Definitely can work well with Mythic Legions. Really like the way this is coming out. Now, if you guys enjoyed this, check out my other Mythic Legions reviews. There's also other people who review Mythic Legions. There's people like Toy Bro, and you can check him out. I'll put a link in the description to find some of his videos. So shout out to him as well too, because he definitely invigorated some of my love for this. There's also people who do customs like Nicole Cheney, who also helped me get a ton of parts, so I appreciate her. Thank you. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for always liking, commenting, and subscribing. I hope you guys enjoy the photos. And as always, please, be good, do good, drink your water, guys. Later.